What's up? This is kind of a emergency, if you will, podcast because we've got some big transfers to talk about.
With a special guest.
With a special guest, yes, I was going to get to that. Abdon, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
No video for him, but he's also, I will put this out there. He is also a Chelsea fan. Now,
let's go.
Jose is a very rational and calm and just he's a different breed as far as Chelsea goes.
Yeah,
Chelsea
Abdon's
fans are
more of an ultra.
Abdon is the complete opposite of Chelsea
He's
fans.
more of an
As
ultra.
Jose is.
I have to be.
Hey, listen.
So this is going to be a lot of fun.
If Abdon starts making sense, I'm gonna be ride or dying with him, man. I'll die on any hill.
Abdon, now that I think about it, he is more of an ultra than a sensible.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with being an ultra.
I could be truthful about it. I
You
can
could
tell
to
you
some
when we're
degree
fucking
there.
up.
Yeah.
It depends. It depends on.
Well, give him a chance. You just attacking him. He just got here.
I'm
You didn't even tell me it was the Discord call. You just ripping him apart.
In the Champions League final, he was shitting on me, even in the fucking live.
Well, Daniel, to be fair, I was shitting on you too.
Everybody was.
And in the live, it was valid, Loki. I don't know what to tell
And
you.
he texted me. Look, hold on. Wait. Before we continue, wait.
got
I mean, all I
receipt.
can start out with is saying the most outlandish shit. Nicholas Jackson is going to outscore Holland.
Yay!
Oh
During-
my God!
during
Here we go
the-
with Nicholas Jackson.
During the Champions League final, he goes, City has already exceeded their XG this game than when they played Chelsea. City were never winning that game. Daniel can suck my ass.
To be fair, had Romelu Lukaku not had blocked that ball on the line, you probably
might have
wouldn't be.
lost.
You probably would have lost,
Player.
Loki.
We would have not lost, necessarily.
You might have.
It would have gone into
You might have
overtime.
lost.
I don't think we would
Wait.
have necessarily lost.
But you should be thanking Chelsea, because who sent Romelu Lukaku to enter the season?
I'm saying he was our 12th player that game.
You're welcome, is what we're saying.
He was your
But yeah,
fourth
Juve
player
don't want
that
an
game.
extra goalkeeper, so.
He counts for two players. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, Lord.
Lukaku?
Yes, his big fat ass.
This is going to be fun. Oh.
Anyways,
is gonna be
Nicholas
fun.
Jackson is not going to outscore Holland.
Yes.
Well, wait until he cooks.
Have you seen him? This man is
Wow.
Didier. This is
I
the
don't
Didier
think
Drogba
he's a
reach
bad
in.
player, but
This is the Didier Drogba reach in.
What did I tell you?
He's not-
What did I tell you yesterday on the podcast? Everyone say he's Didier Drogba 2.0. Everyone's saying it.
and when he gets 5 goals,
And wins the
Hey.
Champions League, I'm cool with it.
Hey,
how is he going to win the Champions League?
Next
Guys
season.
aren't even in Europe.
Next season.
next year.
Next year. After we win the league this year.
Didn't you just say you weren't?
Hey,
didn't you put your
Drogba
team
wasn't the most
outside of-
prolific, but he
out of
scored when
top
he needed
four?
to score.
Drogba won titles. That's what we want. Title winner.
Well, we will see how it pans out. Anyways, we're not talking about Nicholas fucking Jackson. We're talking about all the emergency stuff going on.
Right.
I'm
Thank
tired,
you for
man.
keeping
I'm
us.
tired. I'm tired.
Thank
of
you
it.
for keeping us on track, Daniel. I guess we'll start with the big news that is confirmed. Harry Kane has left Tottenham Hotspur.
Nah.
He is a Bayern player. Here we go. Fabrizio
Officially.
Romano said it.
Yeah.
Everyone he's
He
signing
is.
the contract
He is.
tomorrow. Tomorrow for us, today for him. Yeah, I think it's like 100 million with 20 million or something in add-ons and
Mhm.
like other shit like that. It was kind of confusing. But yeah, he is left the Premier League, which I know last season Daniel was pretty adamant about it. I think Jose or Brandon might have been too, that if they were like, you guys were saying if he leaves, he's going to go to Man United or he's going to stay in the Prem because he wants the record. Well, it seems like he doesn't really care about the Premier League goal scoring record, or else he would have stayed.
I think for a while he did, but he's now coming to the tail end of his career. Like
I
he
will
still
say-
can play another, 7-8 years if he wanted to, but
I mean,
yeah, at 30, most teams are not going to invest in a 30-year-old. At least not in the same way that they would with Harry Kane. So
I will say
He's
he
got to
can
get his
blow out
silverware
Messi's.
while he can.
He can blow out Messi's single-year record for most goals in the Bundesliga.
Definitely in the
I
realm
think
of possibility.
I think he's gonna light it up.
I think
He
he'll
could reach a record.
He'll reach a record. I agree with that. I just think the 92 Messi set in was it 2012? I don't think anyone's beating
90. Oh no, it is 92. No.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's beating that in a
The
single
thing
year.
is, I know La Liga isn't Premier League level or anything like that, but La Liga was still competitive back then.
Yeah, and near Bundesliga is worse than.
Has nothing.
Whoa.
I don't know about
It's a different debate.
Come on, man.
Oh, the league got decided on the final day. I mean, yeah, Bayern Munich won, but the fact that it was that close, because most of the time they usually blow the league out of the water.
Yeah,
Then
but
like
Dortmund. I don't know if
Dortmund
Dortmund
should have won it. Yes, Dortmund should have won it, and they weren't up for it that day. But
I just don't know if they can continue the trend.
No.
Well,
And in the last couple of seasons, that's really gotten closer. Win points. So I mean,
I guess.
maybe with Harry Kane, that
And
gap
I
widens again.
will say, other than Harry Kane, and I see this now that Tuchel's not at Chelsea anymore. Tuchel's talent identification is awful.
Mm-hmm.
It is awful. This man wants Kepa at Bayern Munich.
We got to talk about it.
This man wants Kepa Arrizabalaga at Bayern Munich.
that's why I told you, bro. He's a Chelsea ultra because
Abdon.
Jose's got something to say to you.
Abdon. I want Kepa.
Nah.
Yeah, bro. Actually.
Nah.
Actually.
I don't want Sanchez, but I don't want Kepa.
I'd rather Kepa than Sanchez.
I don't want either. Just the fact that Tuchel at Bayern Munich, with all the resources he has, wants to go for Kepa. When he didn't even play Kepa, he was playing Mendy when he won the Champions League.
That's valid. That's valid.
I know Mendy was in the form of his life.
Yeah, he overperformed tremendously.
But you don't take Kepa for Bayern Munich. Not after Neuer. I know there's a couple goalkeepers in between, but the legacy of Neuer, you can't go from that to Kepa. It's a major downgrade.
Agree to disagree.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, I just want to put out there that, I still don't think that even if Bayern wins the league, okay, they were probably going to win the league anyway. Kane, I don't know, just him going to Bayern is weird because unless they win the Champions League, I feel like the trophies he's going to win at Bayern are not going to be meaningless, but it's going to be okay, Bayern were already the favorites to win those trophies anyway. It reminds me, Abdon, this reference is more for you. It reminds me of Kevin Durant going to the Warriors.
Yes.
It's an easy route. It's an easy route.
He's taking the easy route to trophies, which
it is a very easy route. But
Wait, can I to caveat that the issue is though that I don't know. There's something about Harry Kane, the criticism he has because he hasn't won any trophies or titles. That stigma has followed him for the last 6 or 7 years. And I mean, once he wins trophies, that'll be a whole different discussion. But I think he wants tangible accolades, not just the goal scoring record that eventually, if Haaland stays in the Prem for 10 years, Haaland will beat. You know what I mean? I think he wants to be able to win stuff and then maybe come back into the Prem with another team and do it again or win the Premier League title.
And I will say, Kane and KD are in very different stages of their careers, respectively. When KD moved, he was still fairly young and had many years to go. Kane is at the tail end of his career. I mean, unfortunately, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I wanted Kane to stay in the Prem, whether it be with Spurs or another team. I wanted him to go for that record.
Same.
But you can't deny the fact that at some point a player wants to have a piece of silverware to show off for his offspring, whether it's the kids, the grandkids, whatever. I mean, it's not a dig at Tottenham or anything like that. It's just at a personal level, he might have just said, "Hey, I want to win one thing."
Mm-hmm. And he had the opportunities at Tottenham, and they just fumbled it.
Exactly. Yeah. And here's another thing. Right now, Kane has been known as to be on the team of quote unquote bottlers, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
If he can't win a title at Bayern, that is going to stick with him for the rest of his life. So he's taken a massive gamble. He could have stayed at a safe spot.
Yeah, I was thinking about it too. Like with Bayern, I mean, it's kind of like what you guys said. It's like an easy route to just get a trophy. But at the same time, assuming if he stayed at Tottenham, he only had 1 year left on his contract. He could have just sticked it out, see what Ange had planned, and if the plan wasn't convincing enough, he could have literally gone anywhere for free, and he could have chosen where he could have gone. There wouldn't have been a problem because he was a free agent, and took his chance somewhere else. But I don't know. And then the other part of me is like, I can't really blame him for leaving because a player like Kane deserves something, whether it's in the league or abroad. Because it's one thing. Because I know a lot of players in their careers, they go throughout their entire career without having anything. And it's kind of harsh to say, but sometimes players just aren't good enough. The fact that Kane is just putting up ridiculous numbers season after season, especially yeah, and especially within last season too. He had his best season in God knows, and this might have even been his best season too. But the fact that he just does so much and gets little in return, it's just insulting to him. So I don't really blame him for leaving.
Yeah,
But
and I get where
the only thing I will say logically is that I think personally he should have just stayed to stick it out for the year. And if it was convincing, he takes another gamble, signs a contract for maybe another year or two for Tottenham. And if not, he can just go anywhere in the fucking world for free.
He could have gone to, like you guys said, Man U. You know,
He could have gone to United. He could have gone to Madrid. He could have gone to City. He could have gone to Chelsea. He could have gone anywhere.
Yeah, but I also think, like, when you're at that level, there's a lot of other things that come into factor, too. Like, you're saying he could stay, he could go on a free, and it would be no different. But if he gets injured, if he, for some reason, something happens this season, and he loses the pace, what if he's sitting there and thinking, if I don't move now, and I move next year, and something happens, and I'm not at the same level, I'm wasting this opportunity I have right now.
He could have definitely played like a Giroud role for Chelsea.
Mm-hmm.
But I
take him.
But another thing is the legacy of him.
Mm-hmm.
He might not want to tarnish his Tottenham legacy.
You see,
it'd be one thing if he goes to.
That's what I think. I like when people were saying Arsenal as an option. I think I know he wants to win, and I know he left, and it sucks. But I do think deep down he cares too much about Spurs to play for someone like Chelsea or Arsenal. So I think they were never a possibility.
But Eddie,
because it is his boyhood club. He came from the academy, right?
Yeah,
he's been there for 18 years. Yeah,
I think those two teams were never a possibility.
But my thing is, Eddie, you're a Tottenham fan, so you're in that sphere more. Did his legacy not get a little bit tarnished when he tried forcing the move to Manchester City? Like, not because it's going to City, but the way he went about it with the interview.
Honestly, a little bit in the moment, but like,
I mean, he still had his best season last season.
Once he started scoring goals, fans stopped like that. We forgot about it.
It looks worse on Levy.
Yeah, absolutely. And like a lot of people are really, really upset with Levy now, and just the way he handled everything. But honestly, I think he handled it just fine. He was able, like, Bayern's first offer for Kane was 59 million, and he ended up working them up to 100 plus 20 in add-ons. Like, I think he handled it just fine.
Euros or pounds?
I think
euros. Yeah, I think the first offer was like 59 million euros, and he worked it up to 100 plus 20.
What is
like
that?
90 million pounds.
Yeah,
on there.
That's pretty good business.
It's good for a 30-year-old with a year left. For sure.
Yeah.
It could have been 160 mil pounds if it was
Last
last
year,
year.
yeah.
But here's one thing that I will say that's gonna maybe bite Tottenham in the ass eventually. Players are gonna see that Levy is no good for his word, so any player that is worth something is gonna want to sign a contract with a release clause.
Well, and I
Okay,
think that
but-
was Harry
okay, here's
Kane's
Same thing that's
mistake.
going on with Brighton. It's the same thing that's going on with Brighton and Kudus. Kudus didn't agree personal terms with Brighton because he wanted a release clause because he saw what was going on with Caicedo.
Okay, but here's the thing with that though. He didn't sign a release clause because it had a verbal agreement. Nothing
Exactly,
was done
that's
on
what I mean.
paper.
Well,
And it's
I
like,
also think that
well,
Harry
I'm
Kane
sorry,
had bad.
I can't. We're not in the fucking 1930s where you can rely on someone's fucking word. Like he's a businessman.
Well-
like
well-
he's not.
But-
We're
but
not.
Kane's
We're
a-
not in the
Yeah,
1700s.
Yeah,
where you rely on
honestly,
someone's word.
yeah. Like,
I'm
I have no
sorry,
sympathy with
like,
that. Yeah,
like,
you gotta
with-
grow
with-
up.
But Kane
with
had
all due
bad.
respect to Kane, with all due respect to Kane, you are fucking stupid.
Yeah,
If you
I
were
Well,
to
it
sign
wasn't-
up for, like,
it
well,
is stupid.
Kane had
Shut up.
Kane
No,
had
no,
bad.
no, shut up. Shut up.
Kane
You
had
always
no.
fucking
I'm
interrupt.
with you. I'm with you. I don't disagree.
No, shut
with you.
up. I'm not even done. You're
Oh, okay. My
interrupting
bad.
me.
My bad. My bad. My bad. Sheesh.
No.
Okay, go.
No.
Okay, well, whatever.
Anyways,
No one's saying shit about Kane not being stupid. It's very stupid of him. I'm just saying for the future for Tottenham, under Levy, players are going to be hesitant on not signing contracts without release clauses.
And what I said was Kane should have to begin with.
And what I'm
Because
saying.
he said, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry. I thought you were done.
No. And Abdon, I see your point, but what I'm saying is he should have already done that to begin with.
Yeah,
He
should've.
went on. He only agreed, like they verbally agreed. Nothing was written in that contract or a release clause. Levy just verbally told him that if a good enough offer comes, he was going to let him go. And then a good enough offer did come with City 2 years ago, and he still said no. And
Exactly,
he can't get mad because he signed the contract. He had people look over that contract.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I was gonna
goes,
say.
And it goes back to what I said. Like, we're not in the 19th century we're not in the 1900s where you can just rely on someone's word. Like that's very naive and stupid of him to believe, especially with Levy of all fucking people.
Yeah, but I think he also had bad management in the sense that he trusted people that didn't understand that the whole like all the politics when it comes to contract signing because he let his brother be in charge of that. We don't actually know how much Harry Kane was actually in the process, and maybe Levy made it sound like with a verbal agreement for sure, it made it sound real good, and his brother made it sound real good. Harry Kane's people let him down. Yeah, it was stupid for him to put them in charge. I don't disagree with you, but I'm also saying that I think other players would also look at that situation and go, like Abdon saying, we need release clauses in our contracts. But I also think the Harry Kane one is interesting because he allowed people that probably shouldn't have been managing or being in those talks to be in those talks and to be easily persuaded or not understand, how bad not having a release clause could have been to his career.
And he's also, I'm not saying he's the first one to get fucked over by this, but he's the first high-profile person to get fucked over by this in the Prem in a long time. I don't remember anyone before Kane to get fucked over by this. The only two I can remember off the top of my head is fucking Kane and goddamn Caicedo right now.
Luis Suarez a little bit, but then Luis Suarez when he was trying to move to Arsenal, there was a lot of links, I think, but it wasn't
okay.
But it wasn't that as big because then eventually,
just imagine.
Yeah, because eventually Barcelona got interested. And he said, "I'd wait for Barca."
Yeah, so. But just imagine, like that was in 2013, I think it was. Mm-hmm. It was what, 10 years?
Yeah, it's been 10
almost
years.
Almost 7 years since the last time that happened for the Kane incident to now.
Yeah, it's been
a lot changes in contracts from then to now, and Kane was stupid, but Levy is going to have to work a little harder for these contracts now because players are going to want these release clauses now.
Yeah, and I mean, to be fair to Levy, I don't think he deserves it. But to be fair, we sit here and go, you need to be trying to do the best for these players, but he's looking at it and being like, Well, these are
No, he's got to
sellable
look for the best
assets.
he's got to look at the best for Tottenham.
Yeah, but the Tottenham.
Not
These
for the
are
players. Fuck the players.
Yeah, these are sellable assets. Like, yeah, if Harry Kane had a $150 release clause, it would have been triggered last summer. He'd been left to Manchester City. But when you don't have that release clause, and Manchester City's first offer is 150, you go, no, I want 200 mil. Like, that's not bad on Levy. I think that was bad on, like we said earlier, Kane's team and the way they handled that contract situation. But, to Levy, as much as he wants the club to do well, these are also sellable assets that, if they leave, he's got to be able to reinvest. And with the way the market's going, you're going to need a lot of money to reinvest.
I mean, I don't know what the fuck striker Tottenham is going to pick up. Who's a good striker right now? It's a very bad striker market. Vlahovic, horrible, injured.
Osimhen,
150.
You spend it, you pay it.
I think they're going to stick it out with what they have.
Who they have?
Richarlison and Valise.
Oh, shot. He took 8 months to score 1 goal in the league. No shot.
He's also now playing in a system that favors his game a little bit more. And he's also not sitting behind Harry Kane. He's going to play every single minute of not every minute, but he's going to start every single game now. So, and now he has James Maddison creating for him. So it's not like he has fucking whoever the fuck we had thrown out. Oh, Bentancur is class. But like what I'm saying is there's an actual creative midfielder in there now for him. He's a pressing forward. Ange plays a pressing style. I'm not saying he's gonna light the world on fire, but if I had to stick it out with Richarlison, I'd be fine with that. Now, as a bridge to like our next big striker.
I think Richarlison.
Okay. On deck or no?
Do we what?
Yeah, who's your
you guys
backup?
have another striker on deck?
It's Valise.
The 19-year-old they just signed from Argentina.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's right.
No, but
they're trying to sign this Gift Orban kid from Ghent. He's like 19 as well. He's like scored 20 goals in 22 games for some Belgian team.
Genk. But I think
Genk or Ghent or something like that.
But I think I don't know. I think Richarlison was gonna surprise a lot of people next season. I mean, he did really well for a relegated threatened Everton for 2 seasons in a row. He kept them up before he left last season.
How many goals did he score? I don't think he hit double digits.
No, but I mean, when you're in that kind of system, you're not. And I mean, even with Conte last season, let's be honest. I mean, like, I know Kane hit ridiculous numbers, but that Tottenham team wasn't creating many chances either. And then Richarlison had injury issues his first season, so
we know it.
Yeah,
it's sufferball. We know how it is.
I mean, I think when we had Conte versus when we had Tuchel, I think I liked Conte's 3-5, 3-5-2 over. Yeah, the 3-4-3.
But the difference is, who did we have on the 3-4-3? Fucking Hazard.
We had Hazard. We had Victor Moses. We had Diego. What was his?
Diego Costa.
Yeah, Diego Costa. We had William. We had players that were exciting. I mean, Tottenham had the.
Pedro was in the fucking form of his life that season.
Well, and Tottenham had the front three for it. It's just the rest of it.
They didn't have the midfield and defense.
They didn't have the defense. I think that's where it really hit hard.
Well, it's not even the defense, because I mean our defense was horrible in the 4 in 16-17. It was when we went back to the back 3 that it just worked.
Yeah, but they didn't have the defense.
It was the midfield because we had Matic and Conte in that fucking double pivot that was sensational.
But I think you underplay how good our defense was, because we still had a John Terry. Azpilicueta was phenomenal.
John Terry didn't play that
no,
season.
You're right. He didn't have.
It was Gary Cahill and Diego,
David Luiz.
David Luiz and Aspie.
Those 3 back there were phenomenal.
Yes.
Like
we had Victor Moses on the wing.
Yeah, and we also had Marco Alonso, but they were fine. They did well. They overperformed. We take it.
I don't know, man. They overperformed. There you go. They overperformed.
Hey, we take it. It won us the title. We went back to 10th next season, but that was a whole different thing.
Yes.
So much for the
we didn't go back 10th. We won the FA Cup the next season.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's be honest here. To end the whole Kane shit, I'm sorry, Eddie. He wins 1 medal at Tottenham. We don't have this conversation. He stays there for life.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of that.
No, I think I disagree. Because I think if all he has to his name is a Carabao Cup, I think his aspirations are still greater than that. I think he still wants league titles, Champions Leagues. Like, I think Bayern or Madrid or someone was gonna come calling eventually. If we won that League Cup with Mourinho, I think he still would have wanted to leave at this point.
The difference is, at that point, you learn. I don't mean to sound as a huge dick to Tottenham. Sorry, but at that point, you learn how to be a winner for medals. Just like Man City had issues winning the fucking Champions League, they won one. I could see them going double.
I could see them going double
repeat.
too. Yeah.
I think it comes down to City and Bayern this season now.
But the difference is when you win one,
Assuming
you get
the bracket
that
does that.
itch. Yeah, you get that itch to win a little bit more.
And
So you get that one Carabao Cup, and the players learn how to the difference it is to win a cup. They learn how to be a little bit more, get that little extra oomph. They realize it.
yeah.
So if they had won that cup, do you think they would have won more trophies by now? Is that what you're saying?
They might have
he would
won. They might have won an FA Cup or a Carabao Cup here and there,
You know, I
and they don't fire Mourinho.
I hear what you're saying. I get that. I get all of that, but let's just pretend like that was the only thing they had won. I still the original thing you said was one trophy. I still think if it was only one trophy with this much like time spent, he would have still wanted to leave and go get that Champions League.
yeah, but
I don't know, man.
I think we're being too we're being too generous to Tottenham because this isn't it's not like the Carabao Cup was the only chance they had for like success. They were in the title races for 2 seasons back to back. They should have won one, but we had Leicester. They had a Champions League final. They had opportunities to win, and you know I think not winning those. I think winning those elevates Tottenham to a different level. You are able to keep a Kane and other people. And
well, yeah, if we had won all of those, yes.
But that's what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
Just one of those. You win one of those titles. You win one Champions League, something like that. It takes you to a different level.
Oh, if he had won the Champions League, I think he stays for sure.
Yeah.
But I think like if we say just a League Cup, I think he still leaves. If
But
we say an
FA
FA Cup, maybe he stays, but I think he might have aspirations to win even more. If we had won a Prem or a UCL, then yes, I think he stays for his career.
And they had the opportunities to.
And we did.
Yeah,
You're right. We did.
And that's why I say like I think if they won, I think if you base off the last couple of years, no, he'd still leave anyways. But it's not like that was the only chance they had to win a title. They had multiple chances.
I mean, that Tottenham team was phenomenal.
It was electric.
Well, let's be honest here. As pieces was phenomenal. It's not because Pochettino's here at Chelsea. I'm just saying, like, just the individual pieces was great. You had Dele Alli at his peak, who was lining it up in the league those 2-3 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
You had Kane and Son. You had fucking Alderweireld. You had
Vertonghen.
You had Vertonghen. You had fucking Dembele, Rose.
Who'd you have on the right? He's at Newcastle now.
He had Walker.
Yeah, Trippier. You had Walker
also.
Oh, bro, it was crazy.
Imagine you fucking do something with Walker. He might never leave the fucking city.
That was just Daniel Levy's fault because he just didn't invest enough.
That's what it comes back to. Is just everything comes back to Levy.
Well, you
can't say that
at that time. You can't say that.
You can't say that anymore.
Why?
You can't say that
because they were in the league. They were 2 points or 3 points, whatever it was, until Chelsea scored. Eden Hazard scored that goal that equalized it
At the Battle of the Bridge.
Exactly. They were in the title race, and then the season after that, they're in the Champions League final. You can't sit there for those couple years and go, he didn't invest enough. Now, towards the other half of it, once players start leaving, yeah, he didn't invest right. But you can't sit there and go, he didn't invest properly during that time.
And especially now, this summer, we're completely rehauling. Like,
okay, I'm talking this summer, yes, but I'm talking about those other summers when Pochettino was asking for this player or that player. He didn't get him. He got him a 2.0 of that player. That wasn't.
I can't remember. Keep going. Sorry.
No. That's just all I was gonna say. Like, he just didn't invest. Like, he didn't give Pochettino enough to work with. Like,
I can't remember a marquee signing in the summer. under
I don't
Poch.
remember him signing any players in that period, really.
Eriksson was assigned,
Son.
Alderweireld, and Vertonghen, and Son.
But Eriksson came before
Those were
Poch.
from Bale, though. I'm talking about the seasons where you guys were.
No, Son was after.
That little gap.
Son was after. Son was a Pochettino signing.
Okay, well, that gap when you guys were back to back,
Contenders.
contenders for the Prem and then the Champions League. I genuinely don't. Apart from Lucas Moura,
But Moore was after. I think Moore was under Mo.
No, Mora was in that Champions League final that lost. He's the reason they made it.
Okay,
He scored the hat trick against Ajax.
apart from Moura, I genuinely don't remember him
A marquee
investing.
signing. Not a squad filler. A marquee signing.
Yeah.
Someone to take you to the
Like
next
a
level.
big statement signing that,
A
like,
Conte signing.
The only
Yeah.
player I could think of that could go down as that, it wasn't at the time, but it could go down as Alderweireld. That's the only person.
I genuinely don't know a player that they signed that could elevate that team and give them that extra push for a trophy like a Prem or a Champions League. The only player that comes to mind is Mora.
Yeah.
And even then, I don't think he was supposed to be the player that he was in that time.
Yeah, and you
Yeah,
could say
Bayern
the same for
Bayern.
Son. Like, Son is that player now, but he wasn't that player when they bought him, and they didn't know he was going to be that player. Well, maybe they did, and that's why they bought him.
But yeah, those are like I don't there's not a big name signing that comes to mind in that little period of time.
But I mean,
This
you
is
could
why I
also
said-
say, like, yeah, they didn't win anything, but the players that they did sign all ended up meshing together so well and creating a team that was challenging for titles and challenging for Champions Leagues. So while they didn't win, the signings he made were still good enough to win. They just couldn't quite get over the hump.
But that's
But then
the issue.
But then you need that one statement signing.
You need,
I
like,
know.
one
So
or
yeah,
two.
what I'm getting at is the notion that he doesn't buy players is BS because
No,
he buys players. He just doesn't buy top dogs.
Here's
And
what it
yes,
is.
that's a problem, but
I got the perfect analogy. He created your spine. He created the spine of the team. He just didn't add on to the spine. He, like you're saying, he didn't put the marquee signing down. But he made the basis of the foundation of what you needed to be successful. He just didn't build onto that, and that's the issue with Levy. Is he might build you a spine, he might build you a foundation, but we have not seen it yet. That when you're seeing some period of sustained success where you can challenge, he kind of sits on his laurels. He rests there, and he doesn't go that extra push. Whenever you lost to fucking sorry, go Jose.
No, go ahead. I'll go after.
When you lost to Leicester that next season, I don't remember a single signing between those two in that summer. He
That's
was
what
like,
I'm
okay,
saying.
well, you almost won it this season. Go almost win it again this season. Whereas at that point, you just like, okay, hey, look what I did for you as Poch. Let's say as Poch. Poch can go to, hey, look what I did for you with these players. Just give me like these 2-3 players. They're a little expensive. I don't need a backfiller. I just need these 2-3 players, and we're gonna win you a Prem.
if Kane had stayed, I think James Madison would have been that signing, that building on the foundation, because James Madison is an incredible player, and I think I think him providing for Kane and providing for Son, like, would have brought the attack to another level. But now that Kane's gone, I don't feel that way anymore.
Yeah.
Can I play devil's advocate for you, Eddie?
Go ahead.
You can I'm 100% with the
Fine.
yeah, with that analogy. I'm 100% with that. But, they since Bale left, Tottenham were never big about signing the big players like you said, right? And then after the Champions League final, we had people leave and he didn't replace them. Now, he did build that $1 billion stadium in the hopes to generate more money to eventually, I think, become that. But then COVID happened. And for those 2 years, recuperating those funds probably meant limited purse string money. And then he probably broke the bank a little bit with Conte there. Is it fair to us? Like, I know Daniel Levy has the best history of doing the best things at the right time, but we don't really know what his plan was from after that stadium built, what he thought was going to happen, with COVID and everything, and, stadiums being closed down, not getting those ticket funds. Is it fair to sit there and go, he never had the best interest for Tottenham at heart? Because, obviously he's trying to make his money. Obviously he's trying to build the brand. But he's doing a lot of things off the pitch as well that I think as a Tottenham fan you have to kind of be happy about, right?
Yeah, it just would. Yeah, the stadium, great. Like, all that stuff, like you said, off the field, great. But, like, at the end of the day, like...
What did Danny Rose say?
He said it's like a house without the furniture.
Yeah, and
which is what I was trying to get out, but I'm a bumbling idiot and couldn't get that out. I was trying to make that point, but I couldn't make that point. So thank you for bringing that up, Daniel, because it reminded me of what point I was trying to make.
Yeah.
But anyway, I've had enough of that. Let's talk about Moises Caicedo. I guess Chelsea fans, if you want to take it away, go ahead.
I'm tired.
I was gonna say the ultras can go at it.
I'm tired.
Well, I guess
Let's hear from both perspectives.
Well, let me pull up I'm not going to read this whole tweet.
It was 28 fucking entries. It was 28 fucking entries.
It's a lot.
Let me kind of just get the gist of it. Just to
Over
lay it out there.
over one day. And this is a 3-day issue.
It's in the Discord chat. So this morning, Chelsea are trying to beat Liverpool to Caicedo. Chelsea hold talks with his representatives. They were willing to build more than 110 million. Tyler Adams was supposed to come in, I think, last night, and that ended up going away. This afternoon, Chelsea not giving up. The Adams deal collapsed this afternoon. I guess this afternoon in England, not here. Caicedo told Liverpool that he only wants Chelsea. That happened this evening, right? Yeah, that happened this evening. Liverpool were considering leaving the Caicedo race. Chelsea were making bids for Lavia. It's just been... Chelsea submitted a £115 million bid. Chelsea are working on both Lavia and Caicedo. Chelsea plan to submit new bid tomorrow, and Kepa had communicated his wish to leave Chelsea and join Bayern. So, what a day at Chelsea.
And
the floor is yours.
This has been going on for 3 days. 3 days. 2 days ago.
Most of that was today, right?
Most of it, the whole tweet that he just said was today, but this has been going on.
Yeah, everything I just said happened today.
I'm tired, man. Fucking, you know who's really tired? Fabrizio Romano. This man has not slept.
He's making his bread this summer.
He probably hates Chelsea, and he probably hates Caicedo now too.
Or you love Chelsea because it's job security.
Or it gets clicks.
But. So what was it? Was it on Thursday?
The initial fallout.
Wednesday.
The initial fallout.
Wednesday, we come in, we bid 48 mil on Lavia. Why? Who the hell knows? And then the next day, Liverpool fucking outbid us essentially for Caicedo. The whole day was just rumors, bullshit about Liverpool in for Caicedo. Liverpool in. No one believes it. Everyone is... You can go back onto so many streams for Chelsea YouTubers. Hey, we're good. Caicedo only wants us. Then at 6:30 o'clock our time, 1:30 a.m. fucking England time, Liverpool agree a fee with Brighton for Caicedo. And they stayed up all night, essentially doing all the paperwork, all the medicals, all the bullshit, to sign for him. Last night I was dead. Last night was not fun. It was bad.
Yeah.
And the worst thing is, I missed the whole morning because we were asleep over here. So all the bullshit happened, and I wake up and Caicedo only wants Chelsea. Massive. We're massive. We're
Settle
fucking
down,
massive.
Iron.
Hey,
We are massive though.
we are massive.
You are massive, yes, but only the Irons can say that.
We're
Nah,
bigger than City.
we are bigger than City.
You are. But
That's not what we're
making
here
strides.
for. We're here to talk about Caicedo.
And it all matters. It all matters. It all matters.
My bad.
Yeah, I know. We were trying to talk about the emergency stuff, and then we went on this rant about Daniel Levy.
Hey, that was the emergency.
Yeah, it was.
But
It's part of Kane.
it all
It was all about
is
Kane.
relevant to Kane, but
Fine.
we did
Fair
go
enough.
off a little bit. Let's stay on track though.
So Abdon, why do you
go ahead.
why do you think Caicedo is the man for us? Like, what makes you think that spending this much money on Caicedo is a good idea?
Okay, first of all, spending this much money on anyone is not a good idea.
I agree.
But we're not gonna buy anyone of value. We're gonna be pulling a Daniel Levy on Poch again if we don't fucking sign players at this value. We just have to. Everyone's going for this price. Fucking Arsenal ruined it with Declan Rice. Look at Paqueta. He's going for 120 million euros.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Paqueta's horrible.
Yeah, the fact that they even threw a bid for 100 million was a laugh. I would not pay 50 for him.
Like at this
I
point,
think
this is just the market. We can't
Yeah, I know.
do anything
I know.
about
And the
it.
market
They rejected 88 million.
Paqueta.
That's the market.
Crazy.
88.
That's the market in England though, because I feel like you look at other
But
leagues.
we're in England.
I know we're in England, but that's the market from club to club in England. I feel like there were other options in other leagues that were just as good, if not better, than Caicedo that we were linked to initially.
Yeah, and I mean that's just the issue. But can I tell you that I'm happy about it being 115 million? No. Am I fucking pissed off that last night we finally bid after 3 months the 100 million that Brian were asking for? No, I'm not happy about it. Because then Liverpool came in with 110 million. Now we're here.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna have to bid 115 million with a 20% sell-on clause to buy Caicedo, essentially. But that's just what we have to do. It's been, do you want to know when was the last time we had a holding six, a defensive-minded midfielder, an actual DM? 2016-17.
Yeah, do you know
When
how
was
much?
the last time we won the fucking league?
2016-17.
2016.
How much did we spend on that DM that we got from outside of another league?
Benfica, it was for Matic. I don't know, probably 30, 40.
I think we spent
Let me pull it up.
about 30 mil, something like that. Well, that's what my point is. I mean, we're letting Brighton handle these negotiations when in reality we have other players from outside England. You know, like that.
Like
El
El
million.
Machine,
20
you should have got him.
It was 20 million.
It was 20 million. You know, like there are other players. I mean, but I also think it's a Chelsea problem because I think that clubs know we have money. Clubs know from our habits that we'll spend whatever they demand, and they can. Go ahead.
No, go, keep going.
Because as I say, you look at the Enzo Fernandez deal. Enzo Fernandez, we should have spent no more than 50 or 60, and we spent almost 100, if not 100. I don't remember exactly the price.
120
Yeah, so I mean,
euros.
Yeah, euros. It was like, I think it was like just
90 something.
Yeah, it was right under 100 million in British pounds. But I think that's an us problem because clubs know that they can take advantage of us because clubs know that if they demand a certain price, well, I don't know if it's pride or something. We'll pay it.
And the issue with Enzo is Enzo had the release clause, and Benfica would not go below the release clause.
And we shouldn't have matched the release clause either. He had nothing. He did nothing to prove that he was worth that much money. But that's a whole different discussion. That's kind of
the thing is, you can't think about last season and judge Enzo on last season.
No, I'm not judging Enzo on last season. I'm judging on Enzo on what we had seen for 6 months at him at Benfica. For him at a top club, and for one of the top 5 leagues in Europe to sit there and go, okay, we've seen 6 months of you. Yeah, you're definitely worth 100 million. Same thing with Caicedo. Caicedo had a great year last year. I agree. I think he was great. Do I think he was worth this merry-go-round? No. And I honestly don't. I personally, and I could be wrong, I personally don't see the traits that I would like to see in the defensive midfielder in Caicedo. I personally don't. I don't think he's at that level to get us a title like Matic was. You know, I don't think he is personally. I could be wrong.
I mean, we could all be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
We could be 115 million pounds in the hole
Just throw it in the
after
hole.
this. I mean, it could literally be dead money after this season. I don't
Yeah.
know. It could be the same thing as Cucurella.
Exactly. That's my other point. You know, Brighton, like, they have a track record for people making it, but so far with Chelsea, you know, we just signed also Robert Sanchez and, you know, Caicedo, and they too could flop. I don't think Sanchez will flop, but Caicedo could flop.
Caicedo's not confirmed. We could still lose Caicedo.
Maybe it's the right thing to do, honestly, at this point.
But okay, so you're telling me 50 million for Lavia is smarter? A 19-year-old that played like 25 games?
20 million for Tyler Adams is smarter.
I agree with that.
Tyler Adams is pissed off at us, and it is not smarter because he is injured. So
Yeah.
thank you.
35 million.
I just had a chirp.
Yeah, 35 million for Edson Alvarez would have been smarter. I think we could get. I honestly think we could get also like a De Jong for cheaper, but I don't think De Jong fits our system, so that's not a good shout.
Frankie De Jong?
Frankie De Jong, but I don't think he fits our system.
De Jong would have been more expensive.
I think with all the issues going on at Barcelona, you could have negotiated it down quite a bit.
No, Man U could not negotiate last year when Barca needed money. Barca was selling TV rights, and Man U couldn't negotiate the price down.
Well, I think we could have. I genuinely think we could have.
I don't know, man.
I don't know. I could be wrong, but I'm trying to think of other players too. You know, I mean, like
Alvarez is not good. Alvarez was very bad last year.
For Ajax.
Yes, he had a He was. He was amazing.
I don't think you know what you're doing right now.
No, I'm listening. I'm listening.
Oh, sorry.
No, go. Just
say your opinion. Say your opinion. I'm listening to it.
2 years ago when we tried to buy him. So last summer we tried to buy Edson Alvarez. I was all in on Alvarez.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Eddie knows because I talked to him. I said I'm all in Alvarez. And then this last year at Ajax, he was not as good as the year before. He dipped in quality.
Yeah, but
let's be honest here.
But all of Ajax did.
But he does. We cannot go around saying that just because all of Ajax dipped in quality, that means that he would have been a smart buy this year.
You're right. But I also think that a big reason for why he dipped is because Alvarez was playing more positions than he was last season. Last season, he was that DM 95% of the time. Whereas we were seeing him as a center back and the DM more frequently. He was being shifted past roles more frequently. He can play both. And I do agree with you. There was a dip, and that's fine. That foreign happens. What you're asking me is, do I think is Edson Alvarez good enough? I don't think he dipped that much from when we were trying to buy him, and he's cheaper now. So I'd rather that than Caicedo, because Caicedo, let's be 100% honest, last season was the one good season he's had at that kind of level. Is he going to be able to repeat that? We don't know.
And we don't.
But we do know.
Price you have to pay, though.
But here's my thing: we have other players, like you said, like we'll just say Edson because he's the one we were talking about. Edson had been at Ajax. He's been playing in the Champions League. He's been consistently winning titles over there. Like, we know that his level is a good level. We don't know if this was just a one-season wonder thing for Caicedo. I don't think it is. But is he going to be able to replicate this? Who knows?
Yeah, but we can't talk all this trash on the Bundesliga and then come and say he's been winning titles at the Dutch league and say
I wasn't talking. I respect the Bundesliga. You're the one that said they have nothing else. They have good quality. I mean, like that league is getting more competitive. Whether or not Bayern's getting worse is a different discussion.
It's because it's regressing, exactly.
Yeah, but Bayern's regressing. That doesn't mean other teams are still improving.
No, they're not.
Well, how can you say that? Because Borussia Dortmund improved.
Because all of Germany is just a selling league to everywhere else.
Yeah,
the Germans don't have that much money to be able to sustain.
But every league is a selling league to La Liga and England. Let's be honest.
Exactly.
So Serie A is not.
Serie A is now.
Serie A can make it seem like they're not, but
Serie A is now not becoming so much a selling league, but Serie A will still sell if the money's right. Let's be honest. Serie A is still
I mean,
not that
every
level.
league will sell if the money's right. Every league will sell if the money's right.
Yeah, but we can demand
Harry
more.
Kane just got sold.
For how much?
100 mil.
Exactly. How many players leave the Prem like at a top level for less than 100 mil? How many players leave consistently?
I couldn't name one off the top of my head, but that like
at the peak of their career. Like, but that's what I'm saying.
There's so much player movement that to suggest that once you join the Prem, you're staying in the Prem is just not true.
I'm not suggesting
like every league sells players and buys players.
I'm not suggesting that. What I'm saying is that every league has become more of a feeder leagues for the Prem and for La Liga. More good quality players leave other leagues to go to La Liga for Barcelona or for Bayern or for Real Madrid or Atletico Madrid. And it's same with the Prem, where you have Liverpool, Chelsea, Manchester City, and even you see players like clubs like Aston Villa chirping up. Brighton are able to start demanding or drawing in those types of players. That for me, I don't think the Bundesliga has really declined like you're suggesting. I think Bayern have declined, but I also think that's good for Germany because it makes it a more competitive league. And Germany
Bayern didn't have Bayern also just didn't have a recognized striker, which they do now.
Mm-hmm.
And they fired the coach.
I think Bayern might win the league by 10 or 15 points.
They might go back to the old Bayern because Bayern won the league off a goal difference. They tied Dortmund.
Yeah.
So.
Well, let's get back on topic. Sorry, Daniel, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that last season was just the one season where it was really close in all aspects, not just the push for the trophy, but top 4, top 10. So, yeah, I think Bayern are gonna potentially might blow the season out of the water like how they usually do. Yeah, let's get back on topic.
Is Caicedo going to be a Chelsea player tomorrow?
Nah.
Well, where are we in the? Because I can't remember off the top of my head. Where is the negotiation?
The biggest Chelsea plan to submit new bid tomorrow, reported by Fabrizio Romano. Okay. No less than 110 mil.
Holy shit!
There's reports from another source that says we bid 115 million.
Yeah, it's around that figure.
And Liverpool agreed with Brighton a 20% sell-on clause for their bid. So Chelsea have to match the 20% sell-on clause, which I don't see Chelsea having to sell Caicedo for any particular reason.
I just think it's a bad move.
Unless he sucks.
But then no one's going to buy him.
And then we're in the hole.
I just don't think he's worth 100. He's not even worth.
No one is. But
no,
you
that's
can't
not
buy anyone at below that.
I know. But I'm just saying that it's just there's so many other better CDMs that you guys can invest in.
But Abdon, let me ask you.
Don't tell me Alvarez. Sorry, keep going, Jose.
No, I'll let Daniel finish that real quick. But what I was going to say is, you keep thinking it's Arsenal's fault, and I don't think it's Arsenal's fault that players are going for 100 million.
It's our fault, technically.
It is our fault.
Enzo.
It is our fault. 100%. Well, even before then, I think it's PSG's fault for Neymar.
For Neymar, yeah, but
we'll blame PSG.
But we were supposed to be able to buy him for around 70 to 80 million before Arsenal paid 105 million for Declan Rice.
Yeah, man, you gotta get your bag, King. You know what I mean?
If we would have been but here's the issue: if we would have been smarter and just fucking paid 80 million for him earlier in the summer, this would not be a fucking conversation.
I agree with you.
Before the Declan Rice deal happened.
I agree with you. We draw out transfers. We draw out these negotiations, and clubs get tired and they go, well, if you want them, you got to pay us more money. And I don't think clubs are wrong for that. I think Chelsea's wrong for that.
But it's just the market. Brighton saw the market and they were like, hey, we can't be fucking fucked over. And also, Brighton have a 20% sell-on clause to Vasco de Gaya, I think.
Yeah. That's
or
fair.
what the fuck the name is. So they have to also make their money. They have to
No.
get their bag.
You're not wrong. I agree with you. They have to make their bag because they want to make as much money as they can.
But at the end of the day, there is no other defensive-minded midfielder, not midfielder, just defensive-minded midfielder, that matches the profile and the quality of Caicedo for whatever amount of money. There's no other midfielder that does.
Take out biasness, take out injuries. I'd rather Adams.
No.
No, 100%, because what you're saying is no one has the characteristics that Caicedo does, but Adams is he will chase that ball down. He's tireless. He's good in the air. He's very physically strong. He's a great reader of the game. He can mark well. I think he's faster than Caicedo is. So
But the issue is you have to also remember that he has to match up with Enzo. We
Yeah.
already sunk $100 million to Enzo. We have to buy the midfielder that matches Enzo. I don't want Lavia because Lavia and Enzo play in essentially the same areas.
No, I agree. And what I think Adams would be better because I think Adams will sit in that hole and just kind of sit and hold, stay back and, kind of tidy up the defense and stay with them and win balls through the air where it allows Enzo to move forward more. It lets him be more expansive, lets him do the things he's better at doing. We need someone that can sit back and win the ball. And I think for the money, if you ask me today, Caicedo versus Adams, I pick Adams. I do. He's cheaper and he's better.
I would take Adams as a backup. I wish the deal didn't fall through. I want as a backup. Have one with Caicedo. If we get Caicedo, we have one defensive-minded midfielder in this fucking club. Andre Santo is not a defensive-minded midfielder. Cassidy is gone.
Yeah.
Enzo is not a DM.
Nope.
We have nobody else.
No, I agree with you. I mean, I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing with you at all on that. We need more, but I think that I don't know. I think we either have to get Adams or we have to get Caicedo. Either of those two. And then if we were to get Lavia, that would be a better backup in my mind because I don't.
I think Adams is out of the question.
We have to get Caicedo. 100%. We have to get Caicedo. Yeah. It's just a question of Lavia or Adams. Caicedo Caicedo has to be fucking done. We wasted the whole 3 months of the summer on fucking Caicedo. The scope of the club, we have to get the fucking club, the player. Unfortunately, we will look like idiots if we don't. We looked like idiots yesterday when it looked like Liverpool won.
Mm-hmm.
We have to get Caicedo. Unfortunately, we're in too deep. We're in too deep. Unless he's going for 150 million pounds, it's a done deal. We have to get him.
I just think that
would he be like your only signing?
No, we've signed about the players.
Who else am I forgetting?
Nicholas Jackson for one.
Nicholas Jackson.
Oh,
and Nkunku came in this season. Malo Gusto.
Oh, yeah, I guess Nkunku counts as this.
Nkunku, Disasi, Nicholas Jackson, Ugochukwu, Robert Sanchez.
Yeah, isn't Ugochukwu a defensive midfielder?
He's a DM, but we're gonna try and sell him. We're gonna try and loan him to Strasbourg.
No, we might as well keep him, and then if that's the case, and let him play backup for Caicedo because he'll get playing time.
And I'm down with it.
Oh, I'm with you. I'm with you.
I would rather not. I would rather not buy Lavia for 50 mil and just stick with the Ugochukwu.
Oh, I agree.
Angelo, he's already been loaned out. We technically got Levi Colwill, Madsen, and Lewis Hall back. Those are our incomings. We have, I guess, technically Lukaku back, but fuck. We have Malo Gusto back on loan. Andre Santos, and that's it. And Gusto looked good in the preseason.
He does. All of our players.
We might have the 2 best fucking right backs in the league.
We might, but I'm also scared about preseason because maybe we were too good. No, I mean,
man. I don't know.
No, but I'm with you. I understand where you're coming from. I do get what you're saying, and you're right about the DM market. At least for a true ball-winning defensive midfielder, that market is kind of dry at the moment.
DM and striker is dry.
It is. We have good players. It's just right now it's not the era for them, I guess.
Yeah.
You guys should have or you guys could have also gone for Yuri Tillemans when he was on a free.
Yeah, but Yuri Tillmans isn't a defensive midfielder. He's not a ball-winning midfielder like we're talking about.
We're talking about the holding sitting DM. Just a destroyer in the back. Not someone
Was he not a defensive midfielder for Leicester?
No.
He played in the.
He might have played in the position, but he's just not a very good.
Yeah, he's someone. He's not someone that you can rely. I would have said Ndidi had Ndidi's form not fallen off a cliff, you know.
Yeah,
but they also wanted a lot of money
because last season was a really bad season, but every other season he's been fine.
Yeah, but they also want a lot of money for him too. Because I after speaking, I think Abdon's right. I think the market is dry.
It can't be that much because he's in the championship.
Fucking Lavia's going for 50 million.
Yeah, exactly. But this is also the problem. We're going through a shift now where every defensive midfielder has to be some type of playmaker, and that's dried up these type of positions. It's kind of like you don't see a lot of cams anymore either. Like true number 10s. That don't do a lot of defensive work. The Ozios of the past are gone.
Yeah, that position's dead.
Yeah, so I mean, the ball-winning midfielder, like defensive midfielder, could also be dying off here as well.
And that's another reason why we want Caicedo is he has a great passing ability.
No, you're right. I don't disagree with you there. I don't. That's kind of the reason between him, Adams, and Edson before Edson went to West Ham. Him and Caicedo were my top two because they're ball winners. They can make a tackle and they can also pass well. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a tough situation. Well,
and I will say, Liverpool fans are the worst.
Well, we can talk about Liverpool on a different day.
No.
Today's just an emergency podcast, but
You're right.
It is a long emergency podcast, to be fair. Do we have anything else to talk about?
Do this all day.
Apart from Kane and Caicedo?
I mean, I don't think anything else big. I guess, Daniel, any thoughts on City today?
Oh, well, I couldn't even watch the fucking game because I got fucked at work. But, the 20 minutes that I saw, we looked great. And if I'm assuming we played exactly the same way we did in the 20 minutes that we did in the entire 90. So I think we had a good game. Let me see what the actual stats were because I
will say, Burnley looked.
I think they just had the first. I think they had the first game jitters because Vincent Kompany was like,
maybe
we have to get something out of the City game.
Well, they have a tough start. They have a tough start to the Prem.
On top of that, he was revisiting an old team. He was trying to impress, not just impress Pep Guardiola, but just like the entirety of England and just prove to everybody that he can compete in the league. So I think there was a lot of things that probably factored into the game more than it should have, but let me see what the stats were.
I mean, I will tell you, he did impress. Burnley looked good.
Yeah,
Burnley looked good.
They got that little 18-year-old Canadian boy drifting through the center midfield. He looked good too.
He's actually American.
He actually just got called up for Canada, so he's also Italian. So
Yeah, facts. Just don't pick Canada.
Yeah, I think the only two countries he's represented is Canada and Italy.
It's Canada and Italy. I know. On Foot Mob, he's still listed
as
an
American. Yeah. But he looked really good, and I agree with Abdon. I think that this team under Vincent is good. They had their chances. They had their moments.
I'm not worried.
They're
they lack experience. They need to get more physically physically stronger, but they're also playing against Manchester City, so I feel like you can't read too much into that because most teams would lose 3-0 to Manchester City in the league. So I'd like to see them more against an Aston Villa, a Wolves, those kind of teams to really gauge where they're going to finish.
Yeah. Well, they play Villa next week, so
they got it. I think they could win.
Yikes!
I think they could win.
Dude, listen to their first. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that's gonna be a really big. Well, go ahead. Go. You read your list because I was just gonna say Aston Villa early on is gonna be that's a big statement game.
Their first month of the season, so they already played City, then they play Villa, Tottenham, Forest, United, Newcastle, Chelsea.
Sheesh.
This is gonna win.
Yikes!
To be honest,
Jackson hat-trick.
Forest and Spurs will be wins.
to be honest,
Jackson hat trick.
I was gonna say now you looked good until Nicholas Jackson comes to Chelsea.
Like I said, like I only saw the 20 minutes, but we won 3-0, and I can only assume we played in that 20 minutes we played in the other 60 or no, the other 70. So
I mean, you know how you play. There's nothing surprising about the way City play.
right. So I kind of if I think I know how we played, I think we played well.
Yeah, they didn't play bad. It's also Burnley.
You did.
Yeah, I know,
and that's the thing with
to them. That's the thing with Burnley, and that goes back to what I said the other day about our podcast. Like, if we were going to lose against Burnley, like if we won against Burnley, everybody was going to say it's a routine win, and that we're just doing what we do best. But then if we lose against Burnley, it's like the start of the end for City, and that we're gonna like our players aren't motivated enough. Pep isn't good enough anymore, or he's not motivating his players like he should be, and the fingers are going to be pointed at the club because the club isn't investing enough in the players that we lost, like Mahrez and Gundogan. So, but that didn't happen, so it's fine.
No, and I'm with Abdon because he just said it because you guys did at points look like they were giving you a challenge, and I think if anything, other clubs will look at that and be like, oh, that's how you can break this City team down. Okay, bet.
Yeah, the thing is, De Bruyne got injured.
That's also a big thing.
I don't know what the full extent is to that injury. I just know he got subbed off.
And what were we talking about? Literally the other day about my one criticism of Manchester City's squad. If you get an injury, you have a bunch of versatile players. But now, if Phil Foden moves in the center and then Jack Grealish is on the left, you have no one else on that left. I mean, I guess you have Cole Palmer, but no one else of real quality on that left.
Bernardo Silva's
going to be on the right. Because you don't have anyone on the right. But you don't have anyone on the right. If Bernardo Silva moves because someone gets injured, you have no one on the right. You have Cole Palmer.
Alvarez.
And if you move Julian Alvarez, who plays your cam position? If these players get injured. You can't just checkmate everything because if people get injured.
But that's what we do. That's what Pep does.
I know, that's my criticism.
Checkmate it. I'm just saying that's just what happened.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that's the criticism of Manchester City's squad. They have 16 really good players, and I'm happy for that. But you need some decent players as backup positions, whether they come from the academy or not, because you can't just sit there and go, oh, he gets injured, we'll shift him, because then if that player gets injured, you're having to just keep shifting around to the point where, like, eventually, like I told you, if City were to go through if City were to go through an injury crisis because they're getting older, and it's going to happen, and more teams are going to be much rougher and much aggressive, and they're going to play a lot more games this season, and you're already losing one big player, and that continually happens, you run into the case of, oh, shit, we might not have the depth. I'm not saying that obviously right now. I'm just saying this is a preview of what could become a thing.
We're not Chelsea, so we're good.
Yeah, no, you're right. I'm speaking, but then I should know what the hell I'm talking about, right? Because we lost in 11 last season. We genuinely lost in 11 last season. We had the depth, but there's those are like two different sides of one coin. You have a team that's got very good players with no depth, and you've got a really bad team where the depth is poor and don't perform, and
we had too much depth.
Yeah, we had too much depth. No one was being able to. But when they came on, they couldn't make a difference. We looked.
And I think that's the difference between Chelsea and City. And I'm not trying to like downplay Chelsea at all. I'm just stating the reality. Chelsea's depth, like you guys said, is not good enough.
Yeah, and
some players are, but City's, however, most of the players that we have, if not all of them, are starting 11 players. So the fact that we can constantly just alternate players, that significantly reduces the fact that we get players injured. I'm not saying we'll never get players injured at all. It just happened to De Bruyne. But I'm just saying that the fact that we can rotate players in and out constantly it definitely does help.
Yeah, but you're missing the point. Like you're
I'm
right.
not, no.
You're
I'm
right.
just saying that, like, no. We're talking about injury crisis, and I know we're talking about the whole versatile thing. Like, I get that.
Mhm.
I'm just saying that when something, I'm just saying comparing. I'm just trying to counteract the whole injury crisis thing, and I'm just saying that with City, it's not likely to happen.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is you can't ignore that that's a possibility with like.
Oh, I'm not.
Well, like,
I'm
cause
not.
look,
I'm just saying.
because even look at your squad today. Who played on the
Yeah.
right? Who played on the
I don't
right?
know. It was.
Foden. It was Foden.
Oh, I thought he was on the
Foden? I
left.
thought he was on the left.
Yeah.
I
It
saw
might
him
have
on
been
the right.
Grealish actually on the left, and then Foden on.
No,
the right.
I didn't think Grealish started.
Oh,
Yeah.
Bernardo Silva. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, it was
So
Bernardo Silva.
without Bernardo Silva, like the only player that can like because you already had Julian Alvarez, your backup striker playing as a cam. You had your cam replacement if that was to be the case on the left. You have Bernardo Silva on the right. Let's say something crazy happens.
No,
Like I'm telling you the
understand.
criticism right now. Like I'm not saying it's gonna happen. What I'm saying is to think that City's done it for the last 2 or 3 years and it's been fine, but to think
Yeah, the
that
stars have been
nothing's
aligned
ever
for it.
gonna happen, because like look at Liverpool,
Liverpool. Yeah.
and they play two different systems.
I'm not disagreeing, and I'm also not trying to be naive. Like, that is definitely in the realm of possibilities, and we've been lucky enough to have the stars aligned for us to where that hasn't been an issue. All I'm just saying is that, like, the fact that we have a good enough depth to constantly rotate players in and out. That's all I'm saying.
But that's why I said you missed the point. It's not about the depth. It's about the lack of depth. Like the lack of other players that can come in to those positions. I'm not questioning the depth.
I know what you're saying, because, like, if a right winger gets injured, we don't have another true right winger. I know what you're saying.
Yeah. And like that's fine, but that's what I mean. It's not about the quality of the depth. It's about the quantity.
No, I know. I'm just saying that, like, it's just the way Pep plays. That's his philosophy. His philosophy
is to have less players.
Is that he believes that players should play more than one position, which I agree to a certain point, and I totally agree. But it's not me. That's just Pep. Pep just prefers.
But I'm not talking
players.
About players being interchangeable. That's not what my point is at all. What I'm saying is, and like I said on the last podcast, that would be my only thing I could see being a worry for City this season, is if they had an injury crisis or more than like 4 or 5 players get injured. Because it's happened before.
Right.
And so, I mean, that's why my criticism. It's not that you can shift players. I don't care about that. That's the way he likes playing. That's perfectly fine. You can only shift so many players.
Right.
Before they all get injured.
And I'm saying that's a Pep thing.
Yeah, and that's not. I don't care if he plays. What I'm saying is you don't have the depth if you were to have 5 or 6 people get injured.
I know that, and I'm just saying that's like a Pep issue. Like, he just doesn't want. Well, I don't know if he wants to or he doesn't want to, but he just has that whole philosophy that players should play multiple positions, and that he'll be the one to say that, like, we don't necessarily need another right winger to cope with the loss of Mahrez if we were to go looking for a right winger. I mean, we're looking at Mitoma, but I'm just saying if for whatever reason we don't sign Mitoma.
The way Brighton being negotiating, he might be $150 million player.
Yeah. No, but I'm just saying that, like, Pep was going to be the one to say that we'll be fine. Like, it's just a Pep thing.
Could it also
I'm not
be
disagreeing. I'm not disagreeing at all. I'm just saying, like, you have to talk to Pep about it, because I'm not Pep.
I will.
I'll
question him.
I don't share that philosophy with him. I totally agree with you. Like, we should, if we have a right winger, we should have another right winger, just in case if our starting right winger gets injured or whatever. I totally agree with you. I'm just saying that's Pep's philosophy.
Yeah, but he doesn't.
I know what you could buy.
Who can you buy?
A little Sterling.
Yeah, take it back. Take it back.
To be fair, Sterling had a great run. I don't want him back. I respectfully do not want him back.
But
dude, he looks horrible.
You sold us damaged goods.
I love Sterling when he was at City. He had his moments. He was world class. He had other moments where he was really bad. He was a very inconsistent player. But at the same time, he also went through periods of time where he was fucking unstoppable. Now he's hit a point where he's just not going to be Sterling at City.
It's strange to hear you say that, though, because when I criticize Raheem Sterling, you were quick to go, no, you're wrong. Raheem Sterling's constantly one of our top goal scorers. He's constantly like, yeah, he might miss chances, but he is better than quote. You said he's better than everyone that Chelsea has.
In the moment.
You say
it's crazy how opinions can change. I can't. It's crazy how opinions can change.
No, you can't change it that much, though. You can't go. No, he is very good. He's been very good for us. He's been reliable. I don't want him to go to Chelsea too. Well, I mean, like he was really shit when we were at City. So I mean, like
Well, to be fair, the season before we had sold him off to Chelsea, I thought he played fine. I don't think he played bad.
But he was shit the whole time, right? But he was shit the whole time.
Yeah. Was he starting?
What? You said, but he was shit the whole time.
I did not say he was shit the whole time.
You say he was inconsistent. He was a shit. He wasn't good enough at a lot of periods of time. He was inconsistent.
So he had one season. He'll have one season where he's great, and then he'll have another season where he just overall isn't good, and then the very next season he's great again, and then the next season he's like, it's just all over the place, and then the next season he's like, it was just constantly back and forth.
That's fair. You can take it back though.
And then
we'll give it to
you
you for free.
Where you were criticizing him, or the seasons where he was doing great, which is probably where I was defending him.
No, I don't think it was.
And then the other seasons where he wasn't doing so great, I felt like he was getting praised more than he should have. But all in all, I don't think, like, if I were to look back at his career at City, I think he had a great career at City.
Mm-hmm.
But now, I don't necessarily want him back. Because, for one, we don't really need him. And two, even if we do need a winger, which we kind of do, I don't want him back, personally. I think his time is up at City. I think, just in general, it was a good move for him to just part ways. Because he had been at the club for 5-6 years. So I think it was a good move for him. And, yeah.
Abdon, what were you going to say?
Well,
I don't remember. I was just taking shots.
I respect it.
Well, I guess that can be where we wrap up.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything else to say.
I will say, that Sunday game is going to be a fucking battle.
I was gonna say real quick.
What are you? Yeah,
rattle off your Chelsea Liverpool scoreline prediction.
I'll tell you mine after.
All of us, but Abdon, go first.
I think it'll be a bit high scoring because Liverpool have no defense, and we've been susceptible to get scored on a lot in the preseason. I don't know if we will. We're definitely not. Whoever the fuck we bring in is not starting on Sunday, so we're still going to be running a midfield of Gallagher and Enzo, or fucking Andre Santos and Enzo or something. I don't know, but it's still not going to be a very complete midfield. So it's going to be very. It's not going to be very defendable. It's going to be very hard.
Defensively sound, yeah.
Yes, there you go. Thank you. That's what I'm trying to think of. I'm going to think 3-2 Chelsea.
Jose?
I 100% agree with you. I think it's going to be high scoring. I think both teams don't have a defensive midfielder. I know everyone's saying that Trent is going to be that DM, but Trent has defensive vulnerabilities. I think it's going to be 4-3 Chelsea.
Daniel?
Where's the game being played at?
Stamford Bridge, baby.
Oh, shit.
And we apparently want Liverpool,
but if it's at the Bridge...
and we're rejuvenated after seeing preseason.
Yeah.
We like hardworking teams, and that's what we have.
And after this bullshit this last couple of days, the fucking fans are going to be
We want to win. We want to fucking win. Especially if that transfer goes through before the game. Oh, it's going to go crazy. 100%.
I'll say either 2-2 or 3-2 Chelsea.
I can respect that.
It's a toss-up between either a tie or Chelsea winning by 1 goal.
We'll see what happens. I think Chelsea can do it.
It'll be a good one.
It will be.
Eddie, what do you think?
Such a good... What about you, Eddie?
I'll say 3-2 Liverpool.
Who's scoring?
Salah gets 1, obviously. And I say Gakpo gets 2.
For Chelsea? Come on, just do it. Just do
Dude,
it.
there's one man. His initials are NJ.
I knew. I'll say.
We also have Nkunku, but he's injured, so NJ.
Little Mudryk.
Yeah, I'll
Little
say
Mudryk.
Nicholas Jackson gets one and Mudryk gets one.
And Mudryk's been good too. Mudryk beefed up. I'm excited to see him.
Tom Garrett nicknamed Mudryk Ukraine Bolt.
I fucking hate Tom Garrett. Don't ever mention his name on this podcast again. I hate Tom Garrett.
Hey, he's the biggest Mudryk glazer on this planet. He thinks Mudryk's gonna win a Ballon d'Or before his career is over.
He might, but guess what? I don't like Tom Garrett. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He supports West Brom.
No, he doesn't.
Who does he support?
He supports what did they call it's not West Brom,
It's even worse. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
I think they're just called Albion. Or like Burton Albion or some shit. They're not in the Prem.
Yeah, no, they're not even in the championship. He needs to go away.
Yeah, Burton Albion.
He's not. He's.
They're League One.
Yeah, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He can't even watch his team
Third
play.
division.
Yeah, and he criticizes everybody. He doesn't know what he's talking about. I just hate his name.
I mean, we criticize everybody.
Yeah, but we support top clothes. Well, 3 of us do. I'm just kidding, Eddie. I'm just kidding. I was defending you the whole time.
You know, I don't have to be on this podcast.
You're
if
right.
You don't want me here.
And it's a good thing I wasn't talking about you, Eddie.
Yeah, I had a feeling he was talking about me. Yeah.
No. I do think. I don't know. I just don't like him. That's it. That's all I had to say about that. But
Tom Garrett.
yeah, but I'm glad
Tom Garrett, come on the podcast.
But I'm glad you think Nicholas Jackson's gonna score.
Nicholas Jackson and Mudryk.
Patrick.
He's gonna score my 3, and then Mudryk's gonna get my 1, and for my 4-3 prediction.
Nicholas Jackson will score first. The bridge will be bumping, and then Salah will he'll just put in an absolute masterclass and silence the crowd, and then Liverpool will go on to win from there.
You know what? No, I'm gonna redo my score prediction.
Here we go. I want to hear it.
It's gonna be 3-1 Chelsea.
Okay,
I think we have better defenders than Liverpool.
I agree.
We have Colwill. We have fucking Thiago Silva, who's awesome. We have
Fofana.
Reece James, who's healthy.
Isn't Fofana out for the season?
He's out
Yeah.
for the season.
But we have
is he really?
Badia Shield. Yeah, he
Yeah.
had surgery. We have Badia
ACL.
Shield. We have
Badia Shield's also out for a couple weeks.
yeah, but I mean we'll have him not for that game, but we'll have him.
But Colwell and Thiago Silva will be great. The only question mark is left back.
we have Ben Chilwell's back. He's not injured.
Chilwell's back, but he's been a little sus.
Nah, everyone always thinks he's a little sus, and then he wins his titles, and everyone's like, "Oh my god!" he's so good."
But Reece James first game as captain at the bridge.
Ooh, it's gonna be electric.
Ooh,
It's a new team. It's a different vibe around
a
it.
brand new team.
I'll
And
definitely.
we got the
tuning in.
man Poch.
Yeah,
That'll be a good one.
He's gonna
We
be
should
good.
live stream that game.
I'm down.
I'll be working.
Oh, I guess it's just
We'll
us
see
three.
if I'll be able to.
Yeah, but yeah, it'll be exciting. It's the first time. I don't know about you, Abdon, but it's the first time in a long time I've gone to a season really excited by a Chelsea team.
I haven't gone to a season excited in a long time.
I know, and so I mean,
I think the last
Even the season. I know it came up really short, but even the season after you guys won the Champions League.
no,
You know what I'll say? I was excited because I thought Lukaku was going to be the answer. I will say it.
That's what I thought too, because you guys were in the same boat as City in the sense that like you guys had a quote unquote perfect team. The only thing that you were missing was a recognizable striker. You got it, and then everything that happened with Lukaku.
And we were leading the league up until
I know.
Yeah, but isn't that always the case with Chelsea?
Isn't
it always we're just missing that striker? We'll build a team.
No,
It's just
here's
missing a
what
striker.
here's what happened with Chelsea. We're gonna be top of the league, and then Reece James is gonna get injured, and then we're gonna just dip.
No, we have Malagusto now.
We have Malagusto now. You're right.
Right, so it's gonna go even better. It'll be fine.
Yes.
Fine.
Yes.
Well, then
Fine.
Chilwell will get injured. Then you'll have Cucurella.
Shut the fuck up.
All right.
No, we won't. No, we won't. We have Lewis Hall. It'll be fine.
Thanks for
Lewis Hall.
listening,
He's about to
everyone.
get loaned out. We have Matson.
We have Matson. Yeah.
Oh,
Thanks
Ian
for listening,
Matson,
folks.
yeah.
Follow us, subscribe, like, comment. Bye.
Oh, thank you, Abdon, for coming and joining us
Yes,
today.
yes. How could I forget?
God, forgot the Discord.
I
Forgot to thank him.
I think you'll be hearing a lot more of him.
Yeah, I really
It's
enjoyed
gonna get,
this.
it's gonna get worse if we're winning. It's gonna get worse if we're winning.
Get used to his mug. Well, I guess you didn't see his mug, but get used to his voice.
Are we gonna sack Brandon?
If he doesn't want to come on the fucking podcast.
To be fair, he's at work, so we didn't give him a chance today. But
Yeah.
we said every Tuesday, so we'll see if he actually holds up. But all right, guys, thanks for listening. This was fun. I'm glad we did this, and peace out.
Peace.
Deuces.